Hello there, this is Richard Spirit's Garden, and this is THUNDERFORCE Gold Pack 2. Or THUNDERFORCE, if you're from London. This is the Saturn dashboard. There's 4 tracks for 61 minutes and 29 seconds. And Sega logo. This is 2 Mega Drive games on 1 CD. So we have THUNDERFORCE Arcade, which is THUNDERFORCE 3 mashed up, and THUNDERFORCE 4. That's the Technosoft logo and jingle. We have got a FMV intro. That didn't make any sort of sense. And Technosoft presents some god-awful CG. So let's watch this untextured mess. Well, I say untextured, it's got a checkerboard on it, which is like a default texture in some 3D programs. Just whack the checkerboard on it. Oh, we're in a spinny room. The THUNDERFORCE ship doesn't look as good in 3D as it does in 2D, does it? Oh, and it's disappeared. Just vaporized it. Oh man, we have got some heavy metal now. I say heavy metal, it's very obviously a keyboard. Not that keyboards aren't used in heavy metal, but it sounds cheap. We've got lasers, freaking laser beams, and upbeat tempo. Look at that. Oh yeah, I didn't like that in the guts, did you? Not as good as the intro to the actual game THUNDERFORCE 4 on the Mega Drive, which says something, I suppose. Anyway, we're going to get into one of these games at some point today. 1996. THUNDERFORCE Gold Pack 2 is a very expensive game on the Saturn. It's about 130 quid. Well, you can get it for between sort of 100 and 130 quid at the moment. I bought my copy years ago in Japan when I went on holiday, and it cost me about 25 quid. So there you go. That's lucky for me, huh? Not so lucky for you guys if you're trying to buy it these days. THUNDERFORCE AC, like I said, is a slightly bastardized version of THUNDERFORCE 3. We've got a horrible status panel at the bottom of the screen. We've got similar music, we've got more speech, we have got more detailed graphics in some ways, but they are worse in a lot of ways too. So there's just more visual noise. Yeah, this was a Mega Drive game in the arcade, and didn't use any more colours or anything. So we've got the limited Mega Drive colour palette. But they have actually managed to make this game look worse, which to me is a nice move. Like, these trees look horrific. I'm going to have to do some sort of comparison between the original THUNDERFORCE 3 and this, just to show how ugly and noisy they've made this game. It's like an interference pattern. Like, this background just bleeds into itself. It's crazy. The sound is better produced, but you'll notice if you were to buy this game that the music isn't chiptune. It is a CD track which stops abruptly and then restarts at the beginning of the CD track, making it very disjointed and worse than the Mega Drive in terms of continuity. Obviously it's CD produced, and we have got clear speech, which we haven't got on the Mega Drive. So you've got ups and downs. But yeah, it's THUNDERFORCE 3, and with weird coloration and more detailed graphics. And some of the stages missing. So we have got rejig bosses as well, from what I remember. So some of the bosses don't appear in the stages that you remember them appearing in. We've got levels from THUNDERFORCE 2 in here. And this boss has got a tree in front of it, and it's changed colour. And it looks worse now. And it's dead. So what do we care? So that's Thunder Force Arcade, not the highlight of this pack, it has to be said. Never came out on the Mega Drive, Thunder Force AC, for some reason. Don't know why. Thunder Force 3 obviously did. Back at the title screen here. We're now going to play Thunder Force 4. That's very low res scans of those box arts there. That's, I mean, care and attention, not so much. This is the intro to Thunder Force 4, which is absolutely epic. So we're going to watch this, because I do like this. It's like Iron Maiden and 16-bit graphics. What more could you want? Like I said, this isn't chiptunes, this is CD soundtrack, so this is recorded from the Mega Drive, I guess. Simple and to the point. And a nice warpy logo. Lovely stuff. So Thunder Force 4 is a sprite fest. It's a high quality game, and this version is the same as the Mega Drive. Like I said, the CD soundtrack does stop and start awkwardly, but they have removed all the slowdown, making the game 4 times harder than it was on the Mega Drive. That's scientifically proven fact, 4 times harder. I've put it through multiple tests, scientific tests, including one with litmus paper and a Bunsen burner, and it is quantifiably 4 times harder because they removed slowdown. Some of the enemies in this game have always been a bit knobby, like that white thing with a face on it has always been a bit odd. I don't know what's going on with that. It makes no sense. But you've got some cool stuff like this little sort of waterborne craft that kind of goes across the surface of the water there. You've got an orange blob that fires missiles at you. So some of it's a bit nondescript. You've got a which can only be described as a robotic space cock chasing you, and he's now firing lasers at you and rockets, because that's what he does. Lovely background there, lots of parallax. More impressive on the actual Mega Drive though, in a lot of ways, because, you know, Mega Drive isn't a Sega Saturn, is it? I don't know if this is converted or emulated. I'm imagining it's converted. I don't know how many games on the Saturn were actually emulated from these old systems. But I'm making that up. I don't know for certain. I can't imagine they wrote an emulator for the Saturn, for the Mega Drive. Maybe they did. I don't know. What are you asking me for? Yeah, I love this game. This game's great. And Thunder Force Arcade's okay. It's not as good as Thunder Force 3. Like I said, they've rejigged it around and made it worse in a lot of ways. And this disc is 130 quid. It's not worth 130 quid, although if you were to buy the Mega Drive originals, those are getting pretty expensive. The Japanese version of Thunder Force 4, for instance, is sort of 70 quid on the Mega Drive, and Thunder Force 3 is about 35 quid. So if you've got a Mega Drive, you'll be spending 100 quid on those 2 games anyway. You can't get Thunder Force AC on the Mega Drive. You can get it on the Super Nintendo though, weirdly. And I don't think the Super Nintendo version is the same as the arcade machine either. And it's got lots of slowdown in the Super Nintendo version. But it's an ugly, ugly game. They've taken Thunder Force 3 and made it worse. This boss, in opposition to a lot of bosses in Thunder Force games, is an absolute bitch to put down when you got Blade. Because I don't think the bullets hit the ball particularly well with the Blade weapon. So maybe I should use the railgun. The Blade looks awesome as a gun though. They did make a really cool looking weapon there. He's going to start spitting war at me, he's going to kill me, isn't he? Yeah, he didn't. Haha, I survived. He's a cool multi-limb sprite though. Nicely drawn. It's difficult to believe that there's only 64, oh, got me that time, 64 colours on the screen, or 61 colours, because, you know, some of the palettes have to have transparency in them. So yeah, they did a nice job there. It's a good game. This is a good game. Not worth 130 quid though. A classic, a Mega Drive classic. So that's THUNDERFORCE Gold Pack 2. One for the collectors, maybe. Oh yeah. Always like the music for this level. Sort of space jazz, muffled space jazz. Love it. And I like the fact that you're flying through a tube, which is a city in space, inside a tube. That always appealed to me. This level doesn't have as wacky enemies as the first level. It's just got some sort of robot things which are barely animated. You do get the giant hovering robots on space platforms, like skateboards, like hoverboards, Mighty McFly style hoverboards. They're kind of cool. And you get these things that come out of the background which look a bit crappy, and you get the laser cocks with their balls, which is a bit odd. I've never completed this game in one credit. THUNDERFORCE 3 can do that more or less any time, with about 10 lives left. But THUNDERFORCE 4, never been able to complete it in one go. It just goes on for too long. There's lots and lots of levels, and actually a couple of them are a bit on the filler side. So they could have made it a bit of a tighter game on the Mega Drive by reducing the crappier levels, one of which is the desert stage. Never liked that one. There's an underwater stage I don't like, and yeah, those are the worst offenders. They could have got rid of those two levels and used the bosses in one of the other levels maybe. That was a giant robot on the skateboard. The spaceship, the THUNDERFORCE fighter here, is really cool looking in this game. I do like it a lot, and it changes shape after level 5. You get a different claw weapon, which is groovy. I always kind of liked this boss, even though it was sort of just a robotic blob. He's got like a little face, and he's got like chunky robotic arms. And he fires water at you as well, which is sort of nonsensical, but that's what he does. Anyway, a couple of good games. A very expensive disc. One for the collectors maybe. Potentially, if you got a Mega Drive, get it on the Mega Drive instead. The PAL version is probably fairly cheap, or cheaper. Alright, ta-ra.